Hello and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host, Josh Size. And I'm going to jump right into this episode. Today's episode is a breakdown and prediction for the fight this weekend between John Ryder and Daniel, the Magic Man Jacobs. Now, on paper, I'm not going to lie to you, these two names aren't the most marquee. Daniel Jacobs has been in the ring and shared the ring with a plethora of really good fighters. If you look at his resume, he's fought Triple G. He's fought Sergey Devrochenko. He's fought, in my opinion, a very underrated roster of fighters. He only has losses against the top of the top. He shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez, the pound for pound champ currently. Then, when you look at his career, you've also had the sense that he always seems to get a very high and then followed by a long lull. Daniel Jacobs, in the beginning of his career, very highly touted prospect, was running through everyone. And then he lost to Dmitry Pirog. Now, you know the story. Daniel Jacobs ended up having cancer, came back, and that's why he's called the Miracle Man. And the story from then on has been fantastic. He went on to knock out Peter Quinlan in fantastic fashion. He had a pretty good 2 fights with Sergio Mora. No knock on that. But then after the Canelo fight, after the Triple G fight, he just hasn't had that marquee win. And that trend continued. The last time we saw Daniel Jacobs, he was in a fight with Gabe Rosado in one of the worst fights I've ever seen. Daniel Jacobs versus Gabriel Rosado had very little punches, and I love boxing fights. I love chess matches. I love seeing two good, superior tacticians get in the ring and play physical chess with each other. But this fight wasn't very clean. There weren't a lot of punches. There weren't too many highlights in this fight. You know your fight's bad when you try to watch the highlights to kind of get a recap, and the highlights aren't very exciting. And you know, this fight was almost 2 years ago. And since then, we haven't really heard from Daniel Jacobs. However, on the other side, you don't have a darling. You don't have someone that's been highly touted. In fact, you have the opposite. You have John Ryder, who's been a nitty-gritty fighter, who's taken fights on very short notice and somehow seems to never get the fair shake. In that fight against Callum Smith, he, in my opinion, dominated. I thought he beat the dog shit out of Callum Smith. I thought it wasn't a close fight. I thought he was going to get the nod, and he didn't. And for me, I'm like, damn, this guy like took the fight very short notice. It wasn't, in my opinion, the best night for Callum Smith, but this is the same Callum Smith that many people thought could possibly beat Canelo. They thought he could show up and maybe give Canelo some issues. But John Ryder destroyed him. And now, given the fact that Daniel Jacobs works with Matchroom, he signed that lucrative deal, and it seems to not have played out the way he wanted it to. I think this has all the makings of an upset. And I'm going to ride with cats out the bag. I'm going to go with John Ryder. I think Daniel Jacobs does have a lot of tools. I think he can move well. I just think the inactivity, the tricky southpaw style of John Ryder, who's a rugged come forward southpaw, is going to give Daniel Jacobs some issues. I think the height advantage is there for Jacobs, but I don't think Jacobs does a fantastic job of keeping his reach, in my opinion. I feel like he likes to bang it out, and his arms really don't get the max range that he could. I think going southpaw against John Ryder, who loves to fight southpaws, is a mistake. I think you're going to see Daniel Jacobs moving around the ring, and the inactivity and the rust are going to show. I think John Ryder may actually even stop Daniel Jacobs. I know it's kind of controversial, but I don't like making predictions like that. I just want to go based off the win or lose. I think John Ryder is going to defeat Daniel Jacobs because he's going to be able to close the distance. I think he's going to work tremendously on the inside. And when you're fighting a southpaw, Jacobs' southpaw isn't really one that he likes to use to create offense. He does switch to give the look of, hey, I want to show you this. But in order to kind of neutralize John Ryder's inside offense, I think he has to switch southpaw, time up. As a righty, he's going to eat shots. And I think in this fight, John Ryder is finally going to get that long-awaited, highly rated win on his resume. It's the perfect time. I think John Ryder can hurt Jacobs. I think John Ryder can outwork Jacobs. And it's truthfully a horrible fight for Jacobs to take after not having a fight in a very long time. That fight with Rosado was one of the worst fights of his career, in my opinion. And I don't remember the last time Daniel Jacobs fought a southpaw at all. So John Ryder being tricky, John Ryder being hungry, I think John Ryder gets the job done. So that's the episode for today. I think John Ryder is going to win the fight versus Daniel Jacobs. He's going to hurt Jacobs. He could possibly stop Jacobs, but I'm going to go with him getting the W. I think the inside work, he's going to outwork him. And I don't think Jacobs is this highly touted name that DAZN is going to influence with the judges, or there'll be this horrible shake where Daniel Jacobs wins a robbery or a bad decision. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's the episode for today. If you are listening via Spotify, don't forget to hit that follow, leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win? And if you're not following on IG at Good Boxing Podcast, we're almost at 3,500 followers. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time you guys give me, and have a great day.